Welcome everyone to this Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 5 playoffs, open playoffs match between Tepidino and VGF Taylor. I'm Professor Render, and joining me is Hexodus. How are you doing? It's good to hear. So, Past the Picanha is currently up 1-0 in this matchup between these two teams. Past the Picanha coming from my division, Cal Tower division, and Acai coming from the Desert Palace division. Last night, the race there was in Frosia, and it was a pretty unfortunate circumstance that happened. You may want to watch the VOD for that in case you hadn't already. But we're gonna get underway. This is Casual Boots, personally one of my favorite modes in the game. Just simple, to the point, and it's just you get a free boots, you get a sword. It's just a really fun mode.
Yeah, my favorite thing about this mode is the missing sword for when you dash through bushes.
Yeah, it's a fun little quirk about with the assured sword being not on Uncle, but when you have it on your character.
And of course, we won't have access to that sword slash till we talk to Uncle.
Correct. Yeah. Tepidino is playing as the Knights from Hollow Knight, while VGF Taylor is playing as Vanilla Link.
Oh, vanilla.
Yeah, just regular old Link, nothing too special here.
So not finding anything fun yet.
Not a whole lot to report on right now, but it is the start of the game. We might find items early on. It might be maybe it could be a slow drip. Who knows? Tepidino, the MSU of choice is the Mega Man X trilogy on the Super Nintendo. So, you know, like the classic games, and we have an unavoidable shield. Joy.
I love shields.
Sorry, Lana Bean. I mean, shields are fine. I guess, but it does cause lag no matter what shield you're on.
Yeah, it's pretty negligible though.
It's a negligible thing, but I mean, it can add up over the course of a run.
The nice thing about the unavoidable shield is both runners experience the lag. All right, looks like we're getting NMG strats here from both runners.
Yeah, it's standard. There really isn't anything to really comment on with this. Just you get the traditional opener for the NMG strat. Like you know how to do it. You know how to do it. And yeah, they do cause a little bit of lag. It's a small amount of lag, but as it typically is if it's like negligible lag, then if it's negligible lag, then it's just like it can add up over the course of a run. All right, so we'll see Tepidino and VGF Taylor making their way out of the front of escape into the towards the back in Dark Cross. With this again, just a standard opener, they're trying to aim for at least around like a sub 530 time.
Yeah, sub 530 is pretty good, especially considering that you grab the 3 items in the back immediately, since we don't have to worry about bombs.
Correct, yes. It is because we have those boosts, we can just bonk off of them and we don't have to worry about any bomb usage there.
And then, of course, with all standard openings, you get the light cone when you save Zelda, even if you don't have the lamp.
Yeah, just a little quality of life thing that's just added for the randomizer to account for the fact that you may not get a lamp at the start of the game. As we get the bow out of Dark Cross.
Are we going to see any Sank skips? Or, sorry. Are we going to see any Kakariko skips this seed?
Possible. I mean, well, maybe. I don't know. It could happen. It'll be interesting if there's a cap skip, because you mean my hunch is that if both seeing that bow, they could just be like, okay, we'll just go to Eastern if this is a crystal, and we'll just go for it right away. Hey, we got arrows for it too, so that's just like more reason to say that, hey, let's go to Eastern.
My favorite thing about this is that no matter which way you go, it's basically the same amount of time. Like if you go upwards and bonk, or you go back through the opening you made, it's the same time.
Right, yeah. And recognizing that the map is here in sync, VGF Taylor opts to skip it. Tepatino does pick up the map, though. Just something nice to have. Yep.
So green pendant Hera and 2 crystals.
Yeah, so this is that more than makes the point, except for the fact that I'm saying that, yeah, probably go to Eastern now. It's there.
A lot of players don't like to deviate from their standard opening. This is a very traditional opening. Go check Lumberjack, and then go through the forest, grab all the items in CAC, and then decide what you want to do. So it's likely a South Shore skip, I think, at this point.
Yeah, it's a very, like, the CAC skip, like the CAC skip is a bold call to make, just because of the fact that if you really want to, like, try and spike something before you get to CAC, then that's cool. But you're also missing out on tons of items in the process. Because we see 10 arrows on the Lumberjack ledge, so not gonna kill Aga just for that. Of notes in the Lost Woods, just 20 rupees and 10 arrows. And Tepatino will just go ahead and skip on the rupees.
We'll notice as well that Tepatino did spend some time farming bombs in the escape sequence.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing, really. It's nice to have that there, and this will be Tepatino doing the same thing for getting the tree poles, and there's a 20 rupee off of what looks like to be the tier 1 or tier 2?
Tier 1.
The tier 1, yeah. So that's a pretty good tier 1 pole.
Yeah, it's very good. Especially if you're planning on doing Zora. There's a couple places you can grab up that money.
Hey,
nice
Fire Rod.
Fire Rod.
Yeah, Fire Rod here in the inside CAC, or inside the blind slot, that's alright, not bad.
Well, let's see if VGF Taylor gets punished for not grabbing more than 1 bomb.
It's getting so far no. It does cost you a bit more time if you don't get bombs. Because you'll have to recheck this part of Kakariko, the bomb checks in Kakariko.
Nice lamp. That puts all of Eastern in logic.
Yeah, yeah, it's not just the back. If the big key isn't in its vanilla slot. We also got a Book of Adora, and over on VGF, yeah, VGF Taylor is getting the glove. So we get fire rod, lamp, book, glove. I'm liking this so far.
Yep, we don't have the super secret. This is an Agaseed item, the hookshot.
Yeah. Plus, you can plus Eastern and plus Eastern and Desert are now readily available. Moon Pearl has been picked up for both of our runners, so we're just looking for either Mitts or Hammer at this point. But yeah, that's pretty decently sized CAC, all things considered.
Yeah. Getting 2 fire sources, glove, book. It's definitely not that bad. You would definitely be punished for skipping CAC. At least with a little bit of time loss.
Oh yeah. It is the early game, so it is easy to get back to it, and you don't really lose a whole lot of time in any case. It's only if you if the seed deviates really far away from CAC, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not getting a South Shore skip.
It's fine, really, because it is the common opener, most of the time, and it looks like through Tepetino's decision to go to the mini Moldorm Cave, we're going to see Tepetino probably heading into Desert coming up.
Yeah, usually skipping the dam will do that. And,
Oops.
accidental leave the cave.
Yeah. Whoops. And
very nice double kill.
At least they're dropping bombs. That's not a big deal. Magic powder picked up in mini Moldorm Cave. Not much we can really do with it as far as getting an item check is concerned, because we don't have hammer yet. But it is at least a safety, as we get Ice Rod and Blue Mail from Sahas Rolla Huts.
So Turtle Rock Pendant?
Turtle Rock probably a pendant. and even to sweeten up, and even to make it even more obvious, Samaria here in the dam.
So Meyer and Turtle Rock Pendant, that would be the dream.
And the Samaria only gets used for what? Just using the switch to hitting the switch in pod and doing Wizrups 1 and 2.
Oh, and then there's also right side GT.
That too.
So confirmed, big keys on right side GT.
Sure.
Big key's probably on Torch. Oh, Titan's Mitts.
That's Darkwood access. Pretty normal, pretty friendly Darkwood access, really. Even though you only have the right side of pod, or right side of Dark World out of Logic. I'm pretty sure Tepetito can do a current jump to bypass the need to kill Aga if there is something there.
Yeah, but let's be real. The hammer's just going to be sitting in swamp or in Skullwoods.
Well, if it wanted to be swamp, it could just be on the first chest after getting the small key.
Yeah, that's mean though.
It is something that exists.
No, I've gotten it so many times. I'm angry every single time.
If I get it, if I'm getting it as a part of a bold play I'm making, I feel good.
Yeah, no, that's true. You feel good about it if it's you're not last locating that.
Right. Okay, so VGF will go through Hera and Eastern Palace. That's a green pendant. But Tapadino will be getting those mitts soon. That will be Darkwood access for him. And we did get a shovel out of Eastern Palace, so that's a thing.
Nothing better than a fetch quest.
Yeah, I mean, we already have one fetch quest as it is with that powder.
Yeah, no way to turn it in though yet. So.
Right. Yeah, I'm just saying for like just for the notes here.
Yes. All right, we're gonna get a spin speed off the big chest. Nope.
It saves time. That's really all I gotta say about it. Just it saves time.
It's all you really can say about it.
Right. Yeah. If you really want to go true NMG, you do that. All right. So Tapadina will go ahead and fight Lambo here, as VGF will be on the way to Armos, and it's down to 1 heart though.
Really nice.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, very, very clean fight. We both had the same idea. But first crystal on the board, first crystal in the match, just about 15 minutes in.
Yeah, that always feels good when you have crystals you can do early on.
Oh, no kidding, yeah. And this is a case in point, BGF Taylor fighting Armos. Not exactly getting the quick kill, but it's still a kill either way. That's BGF Taylor's first crystal. Alright, Agina's Cave, just nothing.
Why be something when you can be nothing?
Alright. If Agina's Cave is like the biggest choke point in the game, if it is something.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have desert access early, you're never going to check it.
Right, yeah. And in this situation is that we do have early access to Desert Palace, and heck, we even need to do that for getting those bits and getting into Darkwood access. So Tapadina will go ahead and follow BGF Taylor and what he was doing originally, and that was going to Eastern. This will get Ice Rod and Blue Mail for him. And BGF Taylor gets a bottle with a red potion in it from the dig spot. Here's BGF Taylor Samaria. Interested
that Tepidino's doing Eastern now instead of just straight going to Dark World.
I'm attributing to of the idea of doing just of the always beat Crystal Dungeons ABCD Crystal.
Yeah,
it's reasonable to do this play because it you have a crystal on hand, you can finish it. It's a sensible call in that case.
And it is full clearable. We did get those breadcrumbs of lamp and bow.
Yeah, it's clearable. That's the reason why Tapadino and VGF Taylor have effectively swapped places. But in the case of VGF Taylor, he just now saw those flippers. Or sorry, the mitts, not flippers.
Yeah, I imagine after this is done, they'll both go into Dark World kind of simultaneously.
Yeah, there's no other road goes there. There's no other road but Dark World at this point. There's Tepidino's shovel.
And if Tepidino's counting items, they know that there is nothing else here. Got all 3 items in the first 3 chests.
Yeah, VGF Taylor did end up giving up a little bit of time to checking the bait chest, but it's not a big deal really. It's just a few seconds slower.
Yeah, it's like 5-6 seconds. It's nothing major.
Yeah, it's not like a big time sink like it is like skipping a dungeon that you need to do. There's the mitts for VGF Taylor, and we'll be on the way to fight Lambo next. Again, effectively trading dungeons here, practically going in at relatively the same time.
Yeah, they should be pretty much high-fiving straight at Dark World.
Yeah, whereas VGF Taylor is about to, is going to appears to be doing the same thing. VGF Taylor is going to be heading into Lambo first, although Tepidino's Eastern execution has been significantly faster compared to VGF's, and will actually be like making up a lot of time compared to VGF Taylor. I feel, well, again, it's just negligible because it's early game, but Tepidino will be entering Armos first, well, just behind VGF Taylor with the Lambo fight. Very nice quick kill. Alright, so that's crystal number 2 for Tepidino, and VGF Taylor will get the second crystal as well. Didn't have any magic, so had to do the fights with just a fighter sword.
Yeah, they did miss a couple fire rod shots. Again, not really a huge deal, but we'll take a slight time loss there.
Yeah, it is something to point out though, because execution does matter when it comes to races.
Nice shovel dash.
You love to see it when you're casually just doing the shovel dash, even if it's just mostly just visual.
Yeah, it's just funny to watch.
Yeah, just a little, just some flair, nothing too crazy.
Looks like we are going to get that bottle check.
Yeah, and this bottle check this is new for us. It's just a piece of heart, but that it's a refill.
Okay, we get a King's Tomb check.
I get it. Yeah. It's reasonable. Alright. We have Pod and Swamp as pendants. 5-6 is on Turtle Rock and Dice.
That's interesting. Well, at least we know Hammer can't be in the Pyramid Fairy.
That is a very awful spot for it.
Oh, well, it would be impossible unless this was, like, inverted.
True. Yeah, if it was inverted, then yes. Even then, it still feels kind of bad.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention, it wouldn't be possible till we get a sword upgrade.
Right, yeah. But it's still kind of bad.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, we're going to see Skullwoods from Tepidino and VGF Taylor. Gets a small key out of the big key chest. And this is just going to be for getting the crystal first thing for you, and of course, do every other check. And yeah, as some of our chat members are pointing out too, Tepidino, knowing that this is since Swamp Palace is a pendant, hovering is a factor towards the end game. So if we don't see Hookshop when we are climbing GT, Tepidino can in fact hover.
Yeah, it almost never comes down to that, though.
Right, yeah. It's more of a situation. It's more of like a, hey, this is something that will save me from having to get a hook shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice defensible thing to have.
And James Epinex, Tepidino's teammate was also kind of pointing out this is one of the reasons why some of the reasons why Tepidino is in the courage slots for this team, for the team past Picanha, because of the fact that he can hover.
It does take a lot of courage to hover in a race. Because while it can be faster, it can also be very punishing.
Yeah, and another of our chat members is also pointing out, it's Moldar mounting is a thing. It's very inconsistent because you have to rely on Moldarm's RNG. But crystal number 3 on the board for Tepidino.
Yeah, it was a very clean fighter sword fight there.
And we'll see another fight coming up here for VGF Taylor as we start the moth fight over on this on that side. Now, VGF Taylor is looking to try and get a win for Team Acai to bring this bring the series to a game 4, at least to a game 4. So because due to what happened last night between the matchup, between the Ambrosia matchup, it was a I will say it was a really unfortunate match, really. But also I'm going to say about it again, just watch the VOD if you haven't a chance to. But this is still anyone's series.
Moth giving VGF Taylor a little bit of trouble here, just with some bad patterns. But VGF Taylor doing exactly what you're supposed to do in this position and just take it slow. And of course, Skullwoods was nothing.
Okay, looks like Tepidino decided to save and quit, which is interesting because you do have Thieves Town on the ready, but granted you don't have Hammer, so maybe that consideration.
Yeah, I think they may have wanted to loop in Graveyard Check, or at least the King's Tomb or Bonk Tomb, depending on who you ask, and then not having the mirror.
That's true, yeah. Like it's a sudden realization that, oh wait, no mirror, and I can't do Graveyard Ledge as a result. So this could either be a King's Tomb into Thieves Town play or a King's Tomb into Mountain play.
Yeah, I think it's hard to justify going up the mountain for only 3 items when you have all of Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, it's more tantalizing to go to Village of Outcasts as opposed to the mountain, as you mentioned. You have what, like 7 items in total, as opposed to the 3.
And then there's the possibility of Smith Chain, which is just gross.
Yeah, and this Smith Chain is especially terrible for the fact that you don't have mirror. It's a mirrorless Smith Chain, and no one wants to do a mirrorless Smith Chain unless you're trying to go for a bold play. All right, so nothing of note in the chess game. Going to the brewery now. Hey, it's a bottle.
With a B.
So in the vicinity of Thieves Town, there isn't anything other than, well, safety. Oh, Tempestino just kind of just realized, oh wait, yeah, I have Thieves Town, so don't leave just yet.
And there's a chance that they won't need the hammer. Although if you don't need the hammer, it's technically hammer locked.
Yeah, just all technicalities though.
Yeah, we don't care about logic.
Logic is merely just a suggestion. That's it.
Until it isn't.
Until it isn't.
And you
Yeah.
wish you had followed it.
Yeah. It's merely a suggestion until it's not.
Yes.
Alright, both of our runners will be heading into Thieves Town soon. BGF Taylor is just going to open up the entrance and then check the brewery before heading in. And that's always a fair call because you can find Hammer right here, mind you.
Of course it's there.
I lead right into it. Just my board just laid right into it as I mentioned the brewery, and then it just happens to be on Tempestino's side.
So no Kern jump today.
It's a shame because I actually like Current Jump. It's a fun
It's a
trick.
lot of fun. Yeah. There's lots of really good lineups to get it consistently.
Yeah, I like to do it from the not absolute bottom, but near the bottom. Like I don't usually do like a pixel high or like a section high or whatever.
I like to use the almost bottom corner of the tree to lay the bomb. That way, by the time you walk over there and jump down, the bomb explodes. And then right before you jump, because you're lined up with the edge, you just tap like a direction up. So it gets you in the right position.
Current Jump's fine. You should learn how you should learn how to do it. There's
Just like-
GF's ham. Go ahead.
It's just like the Kana Samaria stair clip in Pod.
Yeah, it's a bit a fun little party trick, and well, especially the pod clip. That's one of that's especially a party trick. Anyway, VGF gets the hammer. Oh boy.
And I'm sure they're smiling about it.
Yeah, it's nice to get the hammer early. Is like while you're in Thieves Town because you now don't have to worry about the hammer requirement.
Yeah.
And it didn't even matter either way because the key locked itself.
That's always fun.
Yeah, it's always a nice relief that if the key locked, it locks up if you don't have hammer. All right, We do now have a blind fights in the position for Tepatino.
With a shovel to the head, as you do.
A shovel to the head. Not a boot to the head, but a shovel to the head.
Very nice.
Awesome. And we get mirror out of it, too.
Of course.
So now the Smith chain's looking really nice.
Yeah, Smith chain, graveyard ledge. So what would have been a nice play here is straight from desert going into Village of Outcasts, clearing out these 2 crystals, and then looping in pod. Or pod eastern area. I don't know that you would necessarily want to do pod, though, with this item layout.
Yeah, with the... Considering, too, it's also pendant pod.
Yeah. I personally would have put it off for the mirror.
Right. Pendant pod is, like... I don't mind doing pendant pod. Call me crazy, but I'm going like going with the average frustrated gamer school of thought that pendant pod is you have to believe in it.
Believe in pendant pod. Yes. It is a thing. Although, usually when I believe in pendant pod, it punishes me.
Hey, we get fluid out of it though, and that is required.
Yep.
So at this point, we're looking at medallions, really, and a sword.
Yeah, there is a potential for hookshot requirement, but that's pretty negligible at this point.
Right. Yeah, and we already mentioned that Tepatino can in fact hover if the hookshot requirements if there's no hookshot on the way. That's bubble, by the way.
What we could end up seeing as well is just hookshot being in GT right side somewhere.
Yeah, and that would make this whole thing nicer. Yeah, and to answer a question in the chat, Taylor did beat Moth with Blue Mail and Fighter Sword, so really that wasn't too bad of equipment. Fluid activation coming out from Tepatino.
And it's not really a bad call either to do Skull Woods when you have the Fire Rod. If I don't have the Fire Rod when I have Dark World access, I'll typically do Village of Outcasts clearing in the hopes of getting Fire Rod.
Right. Yeah. If it's a pendant skull, I wouldn't mind going there, and we get Master Sword. So now we're just looking for medallions.
Yeah, it's a really nice find. I wonder if we're going to see Ice Rod Cave anytime soon.
Maybe if you're going to ice, but I don't know. Alright, time to look at this Hive Cave or whatever it is. A lot of nothing, so overhyped.
Did give him Zora money.
You get Zora money, yes, but it's still it's nothing.
Okay, so we're gonna get some knowledge here.
Right, with if you're being in medallion go mode at just under 40 minutes, it makes sense to just to start looking for the medallions now. You get Bombos for Meyer.
I imagine we'll see a Death Mountain play coming up here shortly.
Rush my 50 rupees from this Meyer shed. BGF Taylor gonna do K45. I'm a little bit suspect on this yeah.
Yeah, that's really bad. Especially considering it has a sword.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about the purple chest placement there because it was right on top of the mirror portal.
Yeah. And I mean, the purple chest has such a weird hitbox.
Right, yeah, and if that happens, you're probably just you're in a high risk of losing that purple chest.
Yeah. And there's almost like zero chance you go back for it.
Right, yeah, and at that chat point now, you can just use like a Samaria block or a bomb to just throw it over your head and just have it over your head and just get the purple chest that way. That way you don't have to worry about the mirror portal. We're getting an Ice Palace play from Tepidino.
It's a good time to do it.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about this call at all. You're now looking at either a medallion or two from Gomo. So might as well take advantage of what you have right now and just go into ice, get another crystal on the board.
Yeah, and I imagine if they don't find Bombos in here, it's likely going to be a mountain play after this.
Yeah, you have the entirety of the mountain open to you. It's very reasonable to suspect to go over there. GF Taylor sees that the Bombos is required from Meyer. Go ahead and get an icebreaker from Tepidino, pretty much the way to do it.
Very nice.
Nice, yeah. I was hoping to be the very fast icebreaker because I love when icebreakers are ridiculously fast. I love doing it fast. Even going as far as to break the my Samaria block if it doesn't kick me out right. I know it's not necessary, but it's I like doing it.
Yeah, I've never bothered to learn the bufferless. I tried. And then it's one of those things that until I understand why it works, it won't work for me until I figure out why I can't get it, or I can get it half the time or whatever.
Yeah, I prefer to do it like just with a sword buffer because it's still fast.
Yeah. No, I can do it with the sword buffer. It just I don't understand why it works. So
yeah.
It only works half the time for me. And I don't like the explanation I've been given of, well, just do it a couple times, and if you press down and you start moving left or start moving right, then it worked. Like, yeah, but why?
I mean, I don't really care either way. I just go for it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
If I screw it up, it's not a big deal. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll try it again. If it works, then cool. It's fine. Anyway, enough icebreaker talk. We're gonna go ahead and see VGF Taylor going up the mountain. And we did have a hook shot locked ice. Over on Tepidino's side.
That's okay. Hook shot's just a suggestion.
Yeah. It's just, as far as the logic is concerned, yeah, it's mainly a suggestion.
Because even if you don't have boots, there's still ways of getting there quickly.
We do find our first medallion. It is Quake. Now, if this is required for Turtle Rock, then that's That's not too bad, really. We're just looking at one away from go mode.
Although Fighter's Sword with regular magic is a little bit sketchy.
Right, yeah. Considering that VGF Taylor lost the purple chest due to the mirror portal, is still on a hunt for a sword. And yeah, as Gamer Bunker points out in the chat, there is 2 blue potions and a hammer over on VGF side, so not exactly the worst thing, but it's just something it's worth pointing out that yes, VGF Taylor still needs a sword. Did we seriously just get both items out of the front of Hera?
Warns. Alright. Looks like Tepidino's going to switch back over to that Fire Rod. Finish this out really easily.
Yeah, go as much as you can before you die, and well, there's the other medallion.
So no matter what, we just need bombos.
I was just gonna say it's like from James and X. James and X. I was just gonna say there's no way it could have possibly been both items in the front unless we're playing like a glitch mode, and it's way outside the scope of this tournament or this league.
Oh no!
Oh wow! Ether required for Turtle Rock, and Tepidino has it. And this is going into coming out of Ice Palace, which is also 5 crystals on the board for Tepidino.
So there's a pretty good chance that Turtle Rock has our bombos. I mean, there's other places it can be, but if we follow the logic. Although it could also be in pod.
Right. Also, thanks, Bari. I appreciate it.
Right.
Okay. Getting the bunk chest and nothing else. Alright, we have a Zora play coming up from Tepidino. But just nothing. Typical.
Scamfish is true to his word.
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that from there.
Always a scam until it isn't.
Yeah, it will always be like that until the end of time.
Yep.
In that case, you probably should call up Chrono and Luca and all that stuff just to fix that. All right, we have a paradox play from BGF, and there's a sword.
Okay, bailed out. Kinda.
Sort of, yeah. You are looking at a Master Sword Silverless fight for VGF. Of course, we're looking way down the road, but if this is just the only 3 swords that we get, and hey, we get half magic to make it a lot nicer too.
And flippers.
So there's our logical way to get to ice.
Yeah, and that also puts our wonderful Swamp Pendant Palace in dungeon. In Logic dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah, that means you have up until you finish it around in the left side swamp area. Just like all the way up to left side swamp. That's it.
Yep. Which is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's a move. VGA Taylor is going to go ahead and flute over to Ice. Was thinking about it. Was thinking about going into the Dark World, but decided against it and chose to do Palace. This will lead him on the path to the Ether. Yeah, so this will be go -1 for VGF Taylor. Tepidino will go ahead and get this tempered sword from out of Paradox Cave. So his Ganon fight is gonna be a lot more nice. And oh yeah, right. Tepidino has that red boomerang. Just want to throw that out for the Dragger. And no, pedestal has not been checked, but it can be there. Which means we need hookshot to get it.
I mean, hookshot could just be in TR.
Yeah, that is a thing. And I would, and since Tepidino's going to be heading over to Turtle Rock anyway, because, like, well, you have the Ether.
Yeah, you have everything you need. You're not going to be in a more comfy position than you are now.
Yeah, you're go -1. You're looking at 5 items in Turtle Rock, and it is a decent ratio, really. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to be there, but it's got a decent shot at being there. Alright, here comes Tepidino into Turtle Rock. 5 items and 1 away from go mode. All you're looking for is just a bomb was been down, and you're good.
Which could also be a Pyramid Fairy.
That is true. And I don't think it's ever good. So that means you're in more realistic sense. It's 7 items if you factor in Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah.
And to answer a question, go ahead. Oh no, okay. So to answer a question in chat, this is a mix of 3 of the trilogy of Super Nintendo titles of Mega Man X. This is the MSU. Over on VGA Taylor side, it does. We do have vanilla audio.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, Tepidino there, of course, realizing that they don't have hookshot and went the normal route. Or, developer intended.
Yeah.
Which is something I forget until I've lit all 4 torches and realized I can't leave.
Right, it happens. It happens to everyone, really. I mean, trust me, I've been there.
You feel like such a boss when you remember, though.
Yeah, it's like, hey, at least I don't have to waste time. Okay, VGF Taylor about to drop down to Cold Stare. This will be crystal number 5 for him. Also, I gotta love how up until Turtle Rock, we've been clearing the dungeons in developer intended order.
Yeah, that's right.
We had Eastern Desert, Skull, Thieves Town, and Ice, all like one after another. I mean, sure, there was some differences between them, but it's still for the most part like developer intended.
Yeah, if you discount the pendant dungeons.
Yeah, if we don't take into consideration independence, we've been doing this developer intended.
Which just makes me smile.
It's just just an oddly satisfying thing. Okay, VGF Taylor gets Ether. This may be a consideration. Maybe what am I gonna say? VGF Taylor could probably go over to Ether, to go over to Turtle Rock. Tepidino had a good reason to go into Turtle Rock because he came in with the Ether.
Yeah, it's really going to be a difficult spot as to what you do now. I can imagine you just go straight into Turtle Rock. It kind of feels bad doing another climb, but there's really not a whole heck of a lot left.
Right, yeah. I mean, all roads have to point to Turtle Rock at this point. You have 5 items that's there. You want to at least can kind of play the numbers game when you have one away from go mode.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of always want to be clearing all the dungeons you can.
Yeah, like I mentioned, like at the start of this, always be crystal dungeons. A, B, C, D, crystal.
Whereas the feels bad moment now is that all the pendants are available. Except for, of course, Swamp, but I mean, if you end up finding Hookshot in here, and no bombos.
Right, and you also considering you have Ice Rod Cave, you have 1 item in Hera, you have Green Pendant, and obviously Pedestal, because we don't talk about Pedestal.
And Spike Cave now.
Okay, we got a Arcana Burn Up from Tepidino. I had a bit of a little internet hiccup if I was already called up.
Alright, so we should be seeing a pretty textbook fight here from Tepidino.
Oh, no kidding, yeah. This is a Tempered Sword Trinex fight. This is very easy to do.
Didn't quite get the backdoor strats, but that's okay.
Yeah, Tepidino did look like I got hit the Trinex from behind.
Yeah, it was just a little too low.
Yeah.
No big deal, easy fix. VGF Taylor also remembering to take the developer intended path. Gotta love these auto scrollers. Oh, I didn't realize Tepidino didn't check anything here first before going in.
Oh no, yeah, this is a hard rush for Turtle Rock, and I mean that's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your portal that you want to use, then it makes total sense that you would skip all this, use the Turtle Rock portal, and if you can open it and go in. Because then if you're in Go, you don't have to check this stuff. It's a really bad chain chomp pattern there. Earning their salary today.
Okay, so here's an interesting turning points. This hover. Everybody's gonna hover this, and if this says bombos, then ooh wow. Okay. He needs to line up perfectly for this bonk, otherwise he'll fall. Good.
You actually have like a 4-pixel window.
Right, yeah. I'm just pointing it out, just since that, like, you can't. It is possible to fall there, and it doesn't feel good.
It's just not crazy, super precise.
Yeah. I've always. I didn't even realize. Yeah, I kind of think I was experimenting with that too when I was hovering that. No.
I have a specific pixel that I line up on, but I mean, I know that if I get it wrong, I'm probably fine. But yeah, that was a pretty useless. Pretty useless cave. No, you already did that. I wonder if we're going to see a pendant dungeon rush now. Taylor getting a little bullied by those laser eyes.
And to answer your question in chat about Harapotting without a hook, no, it simply is impossible. You absolutely need a hook shot to do it. If you were trying to do, the only way you would possibly get into that pod is if you went out of bounds, and it's obviously not allowed in any mode.
Well, no logic, and I think restricted major glitches it's allowed because it's out of bounds, not EG.
Oh yeah, but the point stands. I think even then, I don't think the logic even like allows it because it's still considered an EG thing.
Yeah.
Hey, so Silver's in a pretty bad spot.
Yep. That's pretty disgusting. For the purposes of this tourney, without the hook shot, you can't get into that pot.
Yes.
Was this the swamp play? No. Maybe. Looks like a hard avoiding pendant dungeons. I wonder if we're going to get Big Red Bomb after this.
I don't see anything wrong with it. This might be Tepatino going for the Bombos tablet is a consideration. I keep saying that. Is a move that is going to lead to K45 and maybe heading over to the big bomb before diving over to Swamp.
Yeah, it's really hard to make a good determination here, right? Because there's so much that still remains unchecked. Like in between Swamp and Pod, you have a good, 10, 11 items. It's a hard call to make.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like Tepatino is choosing not to go for the big bomb. I guess, granted, he did he did skip a lot of these checks here, along the bottom of the Dark World, like towards the middle of the Dark World. That's
yeah, I definitely understand the cleanup.
Yeah, that's 4 digs for that heart piece, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Very nice hammer. Trinex fight there.
All right, here we go. We got a big bomb play from Tepidino. And again, this is a fair assessment to make.
We're going for the bomb dupe. Nicely done.
I'm too scared to do the bomb dupe.
It's crazy free. So you just have to be at the transition as it goes to 0. But because the transition takes so long to scroll over, you can basically hold a direction as you get to the screen transition, and you're basically guaranteed to hit it at the 0.
Yeah, and there's Bombos.
There it is.
Let's go mode. A fairly nice seed, all things considered.
Yeah, crazy linear.
Yeah, linear and also pretty nice.
Yeah, basically you could ignore all the pendants, which is really nice.
Yeah, you did go into Hera for a brief second, but you didn't go any further into it, which is the more important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is go mode for Tepidino. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Tepidino is in go mode if through hovering. As for VGF, yes, you still need hookshot to logically finish the game. Now, for VGF Taylor, if one way for him to avoid having to deal with the hookshot is do a Moldorm bounce. And and that's fine and all. I don't particularly. Moldorm bounce is very finicky because you have to rely on Moldorm's RNG to get into the right position. We have a pedestal check from VGF Taylor. As far as we're concerned, there's nothing here. But VGF Taylor has to find something, and it's just boring. Boring as always.
Just some free vampire stakes.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit of twigs to make a fire out of. And yeah, and you also have the silvers. Tepidino has silvers for the cannon fights. And of course, they both have it too because they did go over to Spy Cave. I just pointed out because yeah, the tracker. I don't know if it was just an input or whatever. Sadly, there's no Godmire, and like that was like the last possible thing for it to make that Mire not as bad.
Mire's always bad.
Mire is bad, yeah. It's like the second to last dungeon before you go to GT. Of course it's bad. There's Mickey.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, not a bad spot really. If you were deciding to skip out the right, skip the right side. That's a little clip there. Yeah, it's kind of we're about to almost get into GT here. I should probably mention too, this is just only game 2 of this matchup between Picanha and Acai, and we should also take this opportunity to give both runners a follow as well as our crew for tonight, or at least today, or whatever. We have Taliban. I've always called it that because of like that's like pterodactyl on the tracking. And of course, my co-com Hexodus. And I'm Professor Ender, your resident green scientist bear. Give us a follow as well, etc.
Spooky glitch working there. Hitting the switch off screen. And again here. And then there's one more. Saving a total of 8 seconds.
And a nice little time save, even if it's just like 8 seconds. There's that tempered sword for BGF Killer coming back for it.
Yeah, that'll definitely help them out. Not having tempered is just never a good feeling. Seeing where it is even worse. Especially when your plan was to bring it, 45 minutes ago?
Right, yeah. It was... It's still not a bad thing in reality, but it's still kind of Alright. GT guessing game. There's a total of 22 possible spots where that big key could possibly show up. One of them has it. From 1 to 22, get a guess in chat, and if you are the first person to get it exactly or closest to it, either above or below, then you get a shout out from your resident green scientist bear, Professor Renfer.
And an unlimited supply of randomizer seeds.
Which you can claim through Sauce Robot.
Yes. I'm gonna go for rando room bottom left.
Yeah, you can also call it a location. I don't mind.
I'm a little curious as to where this hookshot is.
Yeah, I really want to know where this hookshot is either, because where even is it? There's bombos for VGF Taylor. Now,
they're gonna have to full clear Meyer, right?
Yeah, if they're not comfortable with hovering, then that is the possibility that we're seeing here. We are seeing a catfish play coming out from VGF Taylor as Tepidino is about to head into GT.
I think Ice Rod is still outstanding as well. I don't think anyone's checked it yet.
Right, Ice Rod Cave's still a thing. No one has wanted to Hera properly to go and get the green pendants. Alright, guesses are closed, by the way. And no hookshot can't happen. True. And hookshot, oh hey, it's number 2.
Wow.
And first one to guess that was VXR 441. So, yay! Also, yay, we found our gold sword, and yay, we also found our mirror shields.
All the gold things.
Alright.
So, I guess potentially hookshot could just be in GT. We didn't exactly see enough of it to know where any of it's going to be.
Yeah,
Could be upstairs GT as well.
Yeah, I don't see Tepidino looking for hookshot though. Considering Tepidino can't hover.
Yeah, no. I mean, if it's me, I'm never checking for hookshot. I'll just hope to get the Moldorm on screen so the bumper goes wild.
Yeah, and if you can also Moldorm bounce again, that's also a reasonable call.
Yeah, I just don't like Moldorm bounce. It takes way too long to get everything in position.
Yeah, I'm not a Moldorm bouncer myself, just because of not only because it's way too long to set up, but the reliance the Polar's RNG can really screw you up. It can really it'd be a pain in the neck to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you can manipulate it because there is a specific script that he follows, but even then, you still have to deal with that RNG in the first place.
And then, yeah, you also have to deal with the bomb timer, which just makes everything that much harder.
Yeah, I've done it exactly like twice, thrice in the prac hack, and that's it. I was like, this is way too complicated and like way too annoying to set up.
And I mean, chances are, if you're bootsless by the time you get to GT, you have the hook shot. So like the overlap of when you'd actually need to perform something like that is pretty low. But yeah, as a fellow hoverer myself, there's a 0% chance I look for hookshot at this point.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to go in and try and dig out a hookshot. Like if you can consistently hover, and
Yeah.
we've seen Tepidino hover. We've seen hover coming out from Hookshot Cave from Tepidino. He did fall once on the way over to get the last chest, but that's not a big deal when you. Oh, okay. I guess we are gonna dig for it. Okay.
Nice cape.
Nice cape. A little fluffing of the collection rate, but not too bad. I guess, granted, you are looking for hookshot, so this makes sense.
Okay, so it's not upstairs.
So it could be basement. It could be like again any of those checks that we mentioned before. Not pedestal because swamp, and perfect.
Nicely done. I guess you want hookshot to clip through these blocks down here to save like 3 seconds.
Right? Yeah. But it doesn't really. Not a huge. I mean, even by then you wouldn't be doing the hovering.
No.
You would only do it for just some bonus points.
Yeah. I mean, I usually have the hookshot out when I do hover, just so that I can clip through those blocks. It's the dumbest thing, but, 3 seconds are 3 seconds.
I swear, every time I'm listening to this MSG pack, I'm expecting like the what was it, like Mega Man X2, X3, or what was it, X2 intro stage? Because the bass and the percussion is like almost exactly like that.
Yep. All right. Tempered Sword, Silver Ganon. It's about a 2-minute fight.
Yeah, this won't be this is a very easy fight. Like, this is like, there's no other way you, like, to write home about it. Just like, so simple.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of those things where, looks like they got the 1-on-1, so, like, I think start to finish, you're looking at, like, a minute and a half. Bearing a few RNG things like warps. Get the legendary 47 warps on Ganon.
Has there really been 47 warps?
I think Andy has a clip where he had, I don't think it was quite that many, but there was much warping and much frustration.
And it's funny considering that you would those warps were seeded, and that they are seeded. So like, if this was a race, they would have to suffer for the same thing as well.
Yeah. And the problem is, because it's a 50-50, you never really know, right? Like, is this the last one? Is this the last one? So, the decision to drop and just reset the the warp RNG would be a complete waste of time, because by the time you would decide, hey, it's faster to just drop, unless you know what's coming. Like, you just sit through it.
Right. But anyway, GG's out for Tepidino. Will take first place and will bring themselves two games to none against Acai with an official race time, that GG time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Let's get your GGs in. That was quite the clinic.
Yeah, very well run by Tepidino. Really good performance from him.
Yeah, anytime you can get under the 120 mark in a casual boots, it just feels really good.
Oh, no kidding, yeah. And then just after finishing the fight, the Meyer fight, BGF opted to go ahead and drop a forfeit. That's reasonable. I mean, you probably are also thinking about hookshot too. Maybe if that, or maybe be a bit like a dungeon behind or whatever. Maybe the hookshot more, but
yeah, being an item from Technical Go is one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I mean, if I'm in Go and I'm on my way to Ganon's Tower, I might consider forfeiting or not, depending on how I'm feeling, but yeah, sometimes you just don't feel like finishing it out, which is totally valid.
yeah, it's totally reasonable. So now, yeah, 2 games to none, and Acai is currently looking at a potential elimination situation going into this game 3, and that game 3 will be was it like Friday?
Tomorrow? And we are joined in the booth by Tepidino. Welcome, GG's.
GG's, yeah, and that matchup of Pass the Con and Acai, James X versus Dixon will be on 10 p.m. Friday. Yeah, so GG's and hello, Tepidino.
Hey.
There we go.
Apparently, you're supposed to unmute your mic before speaking.
Right. Yeah. I mean, happens to me too.
So yeah, hookshot, right?
Yeah. Hookshot. What hookshot?
Yeah, we have no idea what it was. Taylor went to check a few more places. Nope, nowhere. Just nowhere.
I'm looking at the race room now. Apparently it was Pod Big Chest.
What's up? Pod what's what?
Pod Big Chest. I think that was that hookshot.
Could be. I don't know. I think neither of us ever went to Pod.
Yeah, right. None of you went to Pod.
Go check. No, don't wanna.
Yeah, I looked in the race room. I made sure I confirmed it with Taylor. It was Pod Big Chest.
Oh, it was Pod Big Chest?
Yeah,
really?
I confirmed it.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like VHF Taylor's gonna go and look for it now.
Yeah. So the moment I rushed Eastern, hoping it would be Penapod, and I guess it worked out. And then things started going weird because of hookshot. The only thing I really regret doing is doing all the checks before doing Red Bomb, because Turtle Rock always has my go mode. I should have gone straight to Turtle Rock. I knew it was there. It was there. I knew it. I didn't know, but I knew it.
To be fair, though, you did need Ice Palace to get into Turtle Rock.
True, fair. And apparently he was hookshot blocked.
Yep.
James told me. Yeah, great. Ice logic. Yeah. Hooray. There was a moment in the seed. The first time I went to Village of Outcasts, I was like, I have this myths. I should probably go to Hype Cave, check for the hammer, and then I'll come back and do Thieves Town as a whole. And then something stopped me. I think I bonked at the exit of a village, and I was like, I'm just gonna go back into Thieves Town. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that happened.
Yeah, that was a rude hammer, and then not even needed for Thieves Town, although technically required.
Fair. Yeah, the seed was great. James basically told me I'm happy you were playing Cas Boots, and I guess now it makes sense. I did. The last time I was restream, my hovering was horrible, so I was quite worried about it. After doing Hookshot Cave, I felt way more confident. So, well, turned out well.
Yeah, no, your hovers were right on point.
Yeah, your hovers were good, and yeah, you're setting now at 2-0. Looking to possibly finish this up. James after next sticks in 10-10 Eastern. Hopefully that goes well for them. Just see how that goes. Maybe we'll see if there's a game before. Cool. If not, then hey, that means we're moving on.
Yeah.
What's the code for next race?
Superboots cross keys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I watched Taylor play the I'm sorry. I watched the Taylor Spy match, and I knew it was really good, and so I'm glad that today, aside from my bosses, were absolutely dreadful, I'm glad that I was on point. Yeah, and now it's waiting for James, and hopefully, I mean, Acai is a really good team, but hey, I don't think we have 3 wins anywhere in the league at this point, or even before.
Yeah. And yeah, considering you were also sitting undefeated too, going into this match, we're sitting at 6-0 prior to the in the regular season, and then yeah, and even a little bit further ahead. But yeah, honestly, well run race. If you have any final thoughts that you want to say on it, go ahead and speak your mind. And
Well, as you can see, I'm a little bit nervous about racing and playing, and so I just want to thank James and PH for the support. It's really good to have like 2 teammates that have your back even outside of matches. Other than that, I just want to thank you for the restream, Pit, for the tracking, everybody that was watching, and whoever's in the background that I don't know, but I really appreciate you. I think it's great to have people show more of our game, and hey, I'm glad to be part of it.
yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so GG's to you. And hopefully this next match coming up for tomorrow will be a great one.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go ahead and get out really quick because I want to make some cookies in just a minute. So if you want to finish this up, Exodus, if Taylor is going to join us, if not, then it's fine. But yeah, it was great to come with you. It's great to watch this race out, and I'll let you have the last word. If you come, of course. Yeah. Depends on
Well, I mean, not too much to say. I'm actually surprised at how humble Tepidino is. I think the only boss fight that went slightly squirrely was Trinex. Other than that, boss fights were pretty flawless. Maybe, Cold Stare, but with the equipment, you know, it's pretty good. Not to discount VGF Taylor, given the equipment that they had, same kind of deal. You just kind of make do with what you got. But yeah, this was a really fun one to watch. It's very rare that you get to see a hover seed. I think I've only had maybe 2 that were, like, in all the seeds I've played, where I've actually had to hover for the win. But yeah, super fun race. Really unfortunate with that hook shot being in big chest, but yeah. This was definitely a fun one to watch, fun one to calm. Thanks, Professor Renderer, for joining me in the booth.
Yeah, no problem. So, that being said, take it easy, everyone, and hope you have a good rest of your day.